Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I am going to make what I would consider a masculine card using some older and newer items. But first, I am going to give you a sneak peek at the cards that we're going to be making at my monthly medley class this Saturday, and again, Saturday afternoon and then next Wednesday afternoon. I'm doing 2 sessions this month. If you would like to come in person, please send me an email, preferably today. This is Wednesday the 12th, and I'm going to be prepping kits probably tomorrow. So if you see this in the next 24 hours, please do let me know. Here's where you can reach me, Nancy at nancysniftynotes.com. Also, if you're in Australia and you would like to get the tutorial and a kit, drop me a line. And if you're anywhere in the world and you would like to get the written and video tutorial, again, let me know and I will get you the link to be able to download that as soon as I have it posted. So here are the cards that we're going to make. There's this one. I had a request for some sympathy cards, so there's that one. And then this one, which there's also an option, instead of just doing the hello, there's a sympathy sentiment that can be used in place there. And then likewise, this one is done up as a birthday card, but again, we can find a sympathy or thinking of you sentiment. Hi, Gladys. Yes, I am very, very glad that the technology is working. It was just really weird. Nothing on my phone was connecting. Well, like email was connecting, but like most of my other apps weren't even connecting to load. Like Facebook wouldn't load, and it was just very weird. Later in the day it was fine, so I don't know what was going on. So there's no, and these are cards that we are making at my monthly medley in the next week, and the tutorial will be available on my website. That's 3. This is number 4. This is a fun fold card. It's very fun. And number 5 is also a fun fold card. This version I made at my crafting retreat the other weekend. And I know somebody who's not into the, one of the people who's coming is not so into the I love you more than french fries or chips. So I did a version that's just happy birthday. That happy birthday comes from the, why can't I come up with the name of it? Attention Shoppers. And then the fish is one of the stamps in with the friendly seagulls. So again, that's pretty fun. So those are the 5 cards we're making in my class. Again, tutorial available on my website. Yeah, the B card is very, very fun. That's I think a Tammy White design. I changed it just a little bit for my class. Anyhow, today's project is featuring the new online exclusive Everyday Arches, which I have fallen in love with. So this is going to be the first time I think I'm using the stamp set on a project. I've used the arches on a bunch of things. And then I'm pairing it with Adventurous Sky, which came out almost a year ago in the annual catalog. Not quite a year ago. And yeah, it got a lot of love in the first several months, and it's been languishing since then. So I've pulled it out today to do more of a masculine card. And I think I'm going to start here with my card base, and I've got a smoky slate card base, and I'm going to bring in my Smoky Slate ink. If you're joining me, I would love it if you would say hello. I'd love to know who is hanging out. So I'm just going to put some tone-on-tone clouds on this card base. And a lot of this is going to get covered, so I'm not so worried about like right in here so much. Not sure it really matters here, but there we go. And do one of these, I think. Two-handed stamping, look at that. And then I'm actually, these are the little stars out of the Everyday Arches. And I'm going to add some of these up at the top here. Yeah, we'll see how that goes for a little bit. Clean these off. And I'm going to set that aside for now. And I'm going to bring in this plane. And I'm going to stamp that in Memento Tuxedo Black. Hi, Mom. It's snowing there again? Wow. We're back in a warm spell. Not too bad, but not lots of fun either. In the 90s. What, mid-30s? Gladys, you're going to get more snow in Michigan? Yeah. It's only February, Gladys. You've got all of March, all of April. I remember living in Michigan. Okay, so, and then I've got Smoky Slate and Boho Blue and Basic Black Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to do some coloring in. So we can chat while I do this. Get that one there too. Hope you guys in the snow are getting to do some stamping. Well, Mom, you're working on other things. You don't stamp, except sometimes some fabric. You stamp some patterns, but you know what I mean. Gladys, I hope you get to stamp. I did a whole bunch of stamping. Well, at the craft retreat, I did a whole bunch of stamping, and I've done a fair amount of stamping here since then. Not just designing for the class, but some other stamping too, which has been fun. Sometimes I get into spurts where I'm not doing as much stamping. So I am just coloring in the wings and the fuselage of this biplane at the moment in the light smoky slate. And I'm going to add a little bit of detail with the dark smoky slate. So like the nose cone, the struts. Oh, I see a little bit of tail that didn't get done. Those struts, the wheel struts. And then a little bit of this shading from the lines there. And I like to go back sometimes and just go over it with the light again to kind of blend it a little more. Another layer on the wheel struts, just for fun. Okay, and now I'm going to add some light boho blue all the way around, and you'll see why when I cut it out. I'm just going to fill in all the way around the edges, and wherever it's got this like white void, you'll see why as I build the card. Oh, good. I'm glad you got to craft, Gladys. Sorry, I have to check the comments here as I go. We had a fun evening last night. A friend of mine in the States, she lives in the States. She's actually Australian. Anyway, a friend of hers from where she lives in the States happens to be in Melbourne and got together with her and her husband for dinner last night. Introduced them to Malaysian food. If you're on my personal Facebook page, you probably saw that from my dinner post last night. Always fun to get together with people, meet new people, and introduce people to one of my favorite cuisines. So you can see I am going all the way around this. With the blue, the boho blue, because in a minute when I cut it out, I don't really want there to be white. I don't want a white border. I don't want white in the void there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my color lifter. And this has been a little bit drippy. So where this propeller is going, I'm going to need to put something in there. Where the propeller is going, I am going to lighten it up a bit. Now, the nose cone sits outside in front of the propeller. It's what's holding the propeller on. So I don't want to lighten that. But I do want to lighten everything else in that circle. So I'm going to let that work for a minute because it takes a little time. Because what it does, you'll see it pushes the ink to the deeper into the page is actually what it does. It doesn't remove ink. It's going to come in with a smoky slate and color in the center of the wheels. There we go. That matters. I am going to bring in my mini here. There, you can see how much that's lightened up. And that defines that arc of the propeller, but the color, you still see the color. Now, okay. So there's my biplane. I'm happy with the shading on where I lightened it up. I'm happy with it having that blue background. And now I'll bring in the other pieces to show you what I'm doing. So from the Adventurous Sky or Take to the Sky Designer Series paper, I have so little of this left. I have a strip. I have a couple little scraps and I have a strip that is just as wide as this arch. I'm like, ah! And then I did this one and I put this Reach for the Stars sentiment. I went ahead and did that, and in a minute I'm going to show you, actually probably about right now, I'm going to show you how I got that to be the correct arch, because when it comes, it's really designed, well, it is designed to fit into one of these more narrow arches really well. And, you know, they nest, but this arc is bigger than this. So what I did was took, is that the right one? Yeah. So I took, make sure you can see this. I took this arch that I knew I wanted it to be able to arc around, and I held it in place. You can tape it in place if you want. And I put that, I wanted that to go along more the straight. I'm not going to get it perfect the way I did before because I don't want to take that much time with you. But I held that in place, and then because these are photopolymer and they flex, I flexed it up and stuck it on the block, and then double checked and maneuvered it a little bit to get it exactly how I wanted before I went over and stamped it to fit in that arc or arch the way it does. So I did that in Versamark and then heat embossed it. And I'm going to put it together to make sure I like how we're going. Yep. And then that's going to be out there. So I didn't really want it to be all white. I wanted it to blend into the background a bit. So I'm going to do that. I'm trying to get it pretty even border all around. I know this is throwing it off just a little bit. That's okay. This needs a little more. Down across the bottom. You can see it lightens up as it dries. That's a bit darker, but it'll lighten up to be like that. I will get some dimensionals on the back of that. I am wondering, oh, that one. Still wondering. Just gonna bring in my boho blue blending brush. Again, not looking to have it so very stark white, but a little variegated. There we go. I love my blending brushes. I really love my blending brushes stands. I may show you those in a minute. Okay, let's try again. And this has a die. I don't know if I'll use both of these or not. But I probably will. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I'm liking that better. Now I'm laying them down, but I'm not pushing down on those dimensionals, so I do have, like when I picked up the plane, I do have a chance to play with it a bit. I like them coming out of those arches a bit, breaking that plane, so to speak. And those are going to need doubles. Did you know about doubling up your dimensionals? See, because this is already up on one layer, I think those are going to stay there. That's going to be on top of the cloud that's up one layer, and the rest of them, they'll be at a funny angle if they are not doubled up. So we'll do that. And there's that. Get rid of those. I'm liking how that's shaping up. Just looking in the camera, because again, it looks different through the lens than it does when I'm just looking at it from this angle. Yeah, I'm liking the added clouds too, Gladys. Now, trying to decide, do we want a couple of these on here, the blue ones, or the gray ones? But what do you think, Gladys? Mom, I'm sure you're a no. I'm thinking maybe for a more masculine card, maybe not. going to do an inside here. I try to have these two sizes pre-cut, but I'm out of my smaller inside layer, so we'll just cut that there. Yep, we said no on those. And oh, come on. Be right back. Sorry. Didn't have any in my scrap. I had to cut another one. A little bit of blue. There we go. And then we'll put it inside here. And if I wanted to, on the inside, I could put a birthday greeting, or I could just write something. There we go. Outside, coordinating inside. That is my card for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will be back, same time, same place, next week with another project. This one will be on my next blog post, which you can find at nancysniftynotes.com. And remember, if there's anything I can do to help you or you want any of my tutorials, just send me an email, nancys@nancysniftynotes.com, if you don't find them on my website under my shop. So, see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.